I've had a referral from the ward for Arthur. He's 65 and has been in hospital for a serious flare-up of his COPD. He had an operation a couple of years ago for prostate cancer, which resulted in him using a catheter. His ex-wife has been to visit once, but the only immediate family he has nearby is his sister, who's in her 80s. He has a daughter who lives in Canada. He's medically fit for discharge, but on the ward round, the ward staff were concerned about Arthur's willingness and ability to cope with his COPD condition and care for his catheter. I think Arthur is a smoker, which obviously doesn't help his condition, and has, I'm afraid, had a negative impact on his health. The ward is providing some catheter care training for Arthur in hospital, but he seems very reluctant to do anything for himself, so they think we might need to get the district nurse to visit twice a day, as well as some home care. Arthur consented to me visiting him on the ward, so I'm going to have a chat with him to see about how we can get him home. I'm already thinking of the risks involved in having oxygen in the home, particularly with him being a smoker.
I know everybody thinks I brought this on myself, like the smoking and all that, but I never expected prostate cancer either. And what with this catheter, it's humiliating. Not to mention the pain in the backside. Pretty much stuck indoors all the time now because the hospital tell me I can't go far without my oxygen. And the dog's getting fat. She hardly gets walked now. And poor old Dolly, she's about my only companion now because she's with my ex-wife at the moment while I'm in hospital, but it's hardly a long-term solution. I mean, I don't expect to be out running marathons, but I don't want to be ferried once a week to an OAP luncheon either. I mean, going down to the pub and going down for a pint of milk to the shops, it's not much to ask, is it?
Hello, Mr. Williams. My name's Sam. I'm the hospital social worker. I'm so glad that you agreed to see me. Do you mind if I sit down?
Go for it.
Okay, thank you. So how have you been?
Not great.
Arthur seemed quite low in hospital. He was fairly adamant that he wouldn't be able to cope with his COPD condition and care for his catheter. Once I'd established a rapport with Arthur, he opened up to me about how he felt that he may lose his independence. I realised I had to get him through this crisis before we could start talking about longer-term outcomes that he wanted to achieve. His confidence was so low, so I started by relating his home environment to what he had learnt and achieved in the hospital. I quickly realised that the more care we gave to Arthur, the less independent he would become, which is a spiral that wasn't going to be good for his well-being. So, Arthur, I see you've had some assessments already in the hospital to see how you can go about supporting yourself at home and caring for your own catheter. How did they go? I talked to Arthur about 3 or 4 goals that he would aim to achieve in the first few weeks of getting home. The general view was that he couldn't cope and needed care, but to me it seemed that achieving Arthur's outcomes all hinged on getting him to be able to get out of the house. We know from experience that trying to set long-term solutions in a crisis rarely helps, so my job was to try and build Arthur's confidence and then pass over to the community team to have that focused enablement conversation with Arthur. He wasn't keen on going to any groups or joining clubs. He felt he wasn't old enough for that. But we felt that together, and with some support from the district nurse, Arthur would be able to manage at home. I could see how important his dog was to him, and also I found out who he had around him who could support and help him in the short term and in the long term. We talked about Arthur smoking, and he agreed to contact Heart's Stop Smoking service.
I think he realised that his COPD could potentially get a lot worse, and this last bout was a bit of a shock. With Arthur's consent, I called the Age UK Home and Hospital Support Service. They're going to go round to his house and put the heating on before he comes out. I talked to him about his medication. I generally like to get a family member involved in collecting and organising the medication. It gives them something practical to do which they enjoy, and it helps if the person goes back into hospital. In Arthur's case, he was going to ask his sister. She already makes regular trips to the local pharmacy, and she seems a bit of an expert. Arthur says she already knows more than all the doctors. Arthur lives in a village that has a local volunteer community network. I agreed to contact them to see if there's anyone who might be able to help out with the dog walking. The community team may want to contact them as well, as they seem to have a whole range of services for local people. I'm feeling really positive about Arthur's future, and I know that he is too. It's really great when you can get positive outcomes, even in the pressurised hospital environment that I work in.
I was a bit apprehensive about going home, I can tell you. But Sam explained that the sooner I started doing things for myself, the better it was going to be for me in the long run. After the catheter training, the nurse left me to it. Big mistake. It wasn't very pretty, I can tell you. But then the community social worker came round when the district nurse was there and ran me through the procedure again. She even showed me a YouTube video of someone changing and cleaning the catheter. I think I've got the hang of it now. With my dog Dolly, there's a guy from the community group. He calls for me and takes me out for a walk. He's got a dog, and he knows all the best routes. Yeah, he makes sure I don't get too breathless and I need to go home. Yeah, I've even contacted the Stop Smoking people. I'm on the e-cigs now. Who'd have thought it? The Age UK people have been in touch. I don't think I'm old enough for them, but they keep asking me to go to an exercise class. I don't know. If it helps me keep on top of things, give it a go, why not?